Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 2 of Those Football Guys.
Just guys being dudes. I don't know why 6 people commented that last time, but it's a thing now.
It's a thing. It is a thing now. So first and foremost, I want to thank everyone who subscribed last week and watched it. You know, for episode 1 and not honestly having much publicity and everything like that, almost getting 100 views. I feel like that's a small win.
That's a big win in my opinion. That's all I can really ask for.
Yeah, I agree, man. It was something good. It was honestly, I looked at it every single day and at work, and I was just getting hyped seeing those numbers jump. But here we go. We're gonna do episode 2. What we're gonna do is obviously week 1 of preseason has just happened. We each have 3 players that we watched over the weekend, who we think helped make their case to make the team, who are kind of on the bubble. And last week, as we did our predictions to go ahead and win the divisions and kind of do our playoff runs and everything like that, we're this time going to make our predictions for players of the year. We have MVP, offensive player of the year, defensive player of the year, offensive rookie, and then defensive rookie. So I'll go ahead and kick it off. So player 1 who helped make their case. This one you might like because you're a Patriots fan. I went with Keyshawn Boutte. Yeah. He had 3 catches for 53 yards. I know he was on 6 targets, but he averaged 17.7 yards per catch. And this is a guy who went to LSU, was supposed to be like the next big thing, supposed to be like a first-round pick a couple years ago, ended up, declaring for the draft and then going back to LSU, and it was just a whole mess, and then he just got all these gambling charges dropped against him. This is definitely a guy I think is on the bubble to make your team. Even though you guys don't have a lot of wide receiver help, you guys drafted 3 or 4 wide receivers. I think the release of Juju is definitely a good sign. But I think definitely a player who helped themselves over the weekend, 100% him. I want to make sure. I really do hope he makes the team. I was a fan of him at LSU, but I think he became his ego definitely got the best of him over there. So that's definitely player number 1 for me.
Yeah, to touch on some of your points. Yeah, I remember when at the day of you remember at FSU LSU the first time.
Yeah.
The crazy ending and all that. Yeah, he was top 10 in a lot of mocks.
He was first round pick for sure.
Yeah, and then he ends up being 7th round, which is
crazy.
Pretty sad.
That reminds me of the old FSU defensive tackle Marvin Jones, I think. Jones doesn't sound right.
That's a receiver.
Marvin something was supposed to be a first-round pick and then came back to FSU for a year and just stunk it up. And he fell all the way to the 7th-round pick.
That's how bad it was.
Yeah.
We forgot his name. At one point in time.
I know he's a defensive tackle. I know his first name was Marvin.
Yeah.
That's all I got for him.
That's all he ever amounted to. Yeah.
He was on the Eagles for a little bit.
Yeah. No, I like Boutte. I snickered a couple times to him in Dynasty, and he's just been such a letdown.
Yeah.
But I'll talk about the guy that was throwing him the ball, Joe the Show Milton.
Oh my God.
His whole name, image, likeness. I mean, he's not called anymore, but he's found out over the weekend. I mean, here in New England, his name's getting tossed around hot. People are already trying to run Drake Man out of town. I don't think that's very healthy. No, Joe looked good. He's always had the talent. He's always had a rocket arm. I guess it's just more about his accuracy and decision making. But he's definitely someone that improved his chances of making an NFL roster, be with the Patriots or somewhere else this weekend.
Yeah, I saw a tweet specifically about it. It said if Joe Milton ends up being a good quarterback, he was the guy was literally I'm never scouting a college quarterback ever again.
Yeah.
It's just crazy how one preseason game can really just skyrocket.
Preseason week 1.
If you I don't know if you're watching the Hard Knocks for the Bears and stuff like that. The wide receiver that's kind of done really well for them, Colin Johnson. He's not on my list, but he's definitely made a name for himself, and that's he's been talked about more so on like Hard Knocks than ever before, like episode like 2 and 1 and stuff like that. He's just nonstop talking.
Yeah, I think Colin Johnson's like 6'7" or 6'8", so his potential's always been there. So it's good to see him, producing a little bit.
I've never heard of him before in my entire life. If he's been in the league long.
I just remember he's a big wide receiver from Texas. Yeah.
Jeez. So my number 2. Now, this is where if we're gonna get hate on this list, it's gonna be me. It's gonna be for this one right here. I don't consider being the emergency quarterback really making the team. I just feel like that's just a very. That's like a.
You don't believe in that, or you do believe in that?
I don't really like. It's just like you would have been a practice squad player, if not for this new rule. So I don't really count this as a roster spot. It's there, but like. I mean, I don't really know if it's really like it doesn't go towards the 53-man roster. I don't think. I think it's just like a game day thing.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was just implemented because of COVID, because there was a time when you needed emergency quarterbacks and stuff. But now, I mean, if you're down like your third or fourth string quarterback, just call it a week now, move on. But
so this one, if we get hate for it, and he's like, oh, he wasn't in the bubble, he was always gonna make the team. I disagree.
Yeah.
And I think it's Malik Willis for Tennessee, and I'm not more so for his passing. So right now he's in competition with Mason Rudolph for that second string behind Will Levis. Mason Rudolph has a track record. I think he was pretty good in Pittsburgh. 1 games. That's what you got to do in the NFL. No matter how you do it, whether it's swinging a helmet,
Other way around. You got the helmet.
Oh, that's right. God, that's embarrassing.
Yeah.
Cut that.
Yeah.
Good thing we're not. Oh, I wish we would edit now. Yeah, dude. Malik Willis is, I think, fighting for a spot. Will Levis is the guy. Right, Mason Rudolph being a good backup quarterback, someone with a proven track record who can kind of teach Will a little bit now that Tannehill's gone. But I think he ran 4 times for 42 yards, and I think that athletic, Willis, Malik Willis, ran 4 times for 42 yards, and then he was 5 for 7 for 38 passing. I think this is a league now where your quarterback has to be a little bit more athletic. I think he definitely showed that. I haven't, like I said, I'm big on the Tennessee hype train this year, as we all know.
Yeah.
I picked them to be in the playoffs over the Bengals and the Ravens. So, but I think having the athletic ability is going to make them put him on the roster over Mason Rudolph, or at least get traded to another team. Like I said, when we do these lists, we're not just saying they're going to make the team that they're on. It's to make a team anywhere in the league.
Yeah, that's true.
So that's a big thing. But I think Malik Willis showing off his athletic ability, especially in the league the way it is nowadays, with these athletic quarterbacks and everyone running around and doing crazy things that we've never seen before. I think over Mason Rudolph, this was a big day for him to at least show it. Whether it was against third strings or not, you still have to produce. Like, we can't sit here and talk about, whoa, Zach Wilson went like 11 for 13 for like 133 yards. Like, he's going against third stringers. He should be doing that.
Zach Wilson, absolutely.
So, Malik Willis going out there and at least showing that he can do it in some aspect, I think was a big win over Rudolph. And that's why he's on my list. Like I said, he's always going to be on the team. Blah, blah, blah. No, I don't count the emergency quarterback as a fucking player. I don't care what you have to say. I don't count it as a spot. And rant.
Yeah. That was a good take. Malik Willis been a bit of a disappointment. Don't think they would, after they drafted him and all that, you wouldn't have guessed that they would usher in Will Levis so quickly. I mean, he's gotten, I wouldn't say he hasn't gotten a chance. He's gotten a couple chances to play with us, and he hasn't looked great, and you can kind of tell he doesn't pass the eye test. But I mean, some guys are late bloomers. You're not asking to be a franchise quarterback. You could be, like we said, there's 53 spots on the roster, and we saw a lot of quarterbacks get injured. So you want to invest in that backup quarterback position, develop it a bit. As we saw what the Falcons do with Michael Penix, we're all laughing at him now, but who knows? They could be on the laughing at us.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, because you truly never know. J.J. McCarthy out for the year already.
Yeah, and now they're in helter-skelter mode. You want to start Sam Darnold for 3 weeks max. Now you start for 17. It's looking at this point, which is not fun. So.
Yeah, I know. Vikings. I feel bad for Vikings fans. They're going through it.
That's rough.
They are going through it this offseason.
But my second player was a guy named Carson Steele. He's a running back for the Kansas City Chiefs. He's currently the number 2 trending up player on Sleeper. A guy I personally was looking out for to be in this kind of position was his teammate Deneric Prince, but it looks like Steele is outplaying Prince and maybe even out touching him, like getting more touches than him. So who knows? And it's Isaiah Pacheco firmly a starter, but then Deneric Prince stopped playing super hot. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, he's so that number 2 spot is. He is. That number 2 spot is pretty wide open. So Carson Steele not only improved his chances significantly making a roster, but getting some meaningful touches.
Do you want to know something absolutely crazy?
I do.
I heard that name for the first time today at work.
Really?
So
he's coming.
I have a coworker who does like the under. Do you do the underdog thing?
What underdog thing?
So Underdog is like an app. We're not sponsored by this, by the way. Underdog is an app, apparently, and they have this thing called, I think it's called Best Ball or something like that.
Oh, this sounds familiar.
You draft a team, right? And I don't know exactly. I looked it up for the first time. You draft like a team, and then that's your team for the whole year. And then pretty much how it works is you'll have like multiple quarterbacks, multiple running backs, multiple wide receivers, and then whoever has like the best week, it will automatically set that for you. So like if you have quarterbacks like Josh Allen, and let's just say I don't know, Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts has 30 points. Josh Allen only has 25. It will start Jalen Hurts over it for you. And then
right.
And then you verse people, and then you can go to win money and stuff like that. So I have a coworker who came in my office today because we've been talking about the football and stuff like that. And he came in and he was like, "Hey, final pick of the draft," and he literally went Carson Steele, and he went on a rant about this guy number 2, and then so I had to go Google the Chiefs depth chart to learn who this guy was. On the Chiefs depth chart, they have him as a starting fullback.
Yeah, I know, I saw that.
So I was like, crazy, man. I was like, damn, who?
Yeah.
I was like, who is this guy? He also gave me another a wide receiver from the Bengals, who I looked him up. He's like the starting slot. Andre Ivolaci. Yes.
Yes. Isoboas or something.
Yeah, I kind of, and then I messaged. I have a Bengals friend. I messaged him on Twitter, and I was like, "Who is this guy?" I was like, "Should I draft him in fantasy?" Don't steal my pick in fantasy, by the way. Now I'm gonna take him.
Yeah, we gotta talk about the time, sometime. Remember that team that girl drafted that was literally people they were like.
Oh my! That's literally that's.
Where do you been,
That's our producer's coworker.
Really?
Yes, and that's why in my bio is NFL free agent quarterback. Remember?
I don't think half these guys you played more than 2 years of
Yeah, it was that was the wildest team I've ever seen in my entire life.
We'll have to read that off sometime, but yeah.
Oh, it's gone. I left the league.
Oh, well, maybe I had the screenshots. I definitely screenshot that.
Perfect. We'll have to see that. Definitely have to see that. That was the funniest thing. She literally drafted based off names. How funny the last name was.
Yeah, that's impressive.
Jeez.
Who's your third player?
So obviously being an Eagles fan, I was very, very impressed with Patrick Johnson, who's right now 4th on our depth chart in defensive ends. So he's been on the team for a couple years now, but he had 4 total tackles, and then he had the sack, fumble recovery to win us the game against Baltimore. Jake Elliott missed either missed a 50 and then made a 45, or it's reversed. I don't remember off the top of my head. And Jake Elliott doesn't miss. So Jake Elliott made me if we did players who have, didn't help their case, I know Jake Elliott's a roster spot lock, but boy, oh boy, did he make me nervous. He missed a PAT and an extra point, but and a field goal, but I'm not going to get into that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he went, missed the field goal. So the Ravens got the ball back. It was tied 13-13. Patrick Johnson on the very next play got a sack, fumble, recovery, all in the same play. And then Jake Elliott ended up being able to kick the game-winning field goal at that point. So right now he's fourth on our depth chart. He's obviously behind like Brandon Graham. He's behind like Nolan Smith. I don't know the defense per se on how our new coordinator Vic Fangio is going to run, but obviously then he's behind Jalen Hunt, who I think we just drafted. He's also behind Josh Sweat. I mean, there's a couple. I mean, you name that. Those four right there. I'm probably missing some other ballers on the defensive end side. So I think it was a very good showing for him, being fourth on the depth chart, and hopefully he makes that team.
Yeah, I am not very familiar with Patrick Johnson, but it sounds like a good young prospect. Good take. My third and final player is Miami Dolphins running back Jalen Wright. I believe he's a 5th round pick, which it's not that late for running backs these days. So he probably was gonna pretty much have lost their rock anyways, but he just looked really good. And obviously they got Mostert and A-Chain, but Mostert's not repeating what he did last year.
No chance. No chance.
A-Chain, not a great health, great health reliability. And then they got Jeff Wilson, who, I don't know, he must be like a vampire or something, dude. He's on every Shanahan coach team. He's just always there. He's the waiver wire pick up of week 9 every year.
Every year,
dude. But who knows how long he'll be there and what type of role he's looking at this year. So I think Jalen Wright's a name to watch if you're
that's interesting.
Taking lead round picks for fantasy. Yeah,
that's definitely an interesting one. He went to Tennessee, right?
I think so. Yeah.
I think so. That sounds about right. Damn. Yeah, I agree with you on Mostert though. Not what he had 21 touchdowns last year.
Yeah.
Something crazy. That's like Khalil Mack, in sacks, like we talked about last week. There's no way.
I did rewatch that bit. I'm that is pretty crazy. He's not doing that.
No way. There's no way, man. If Khalil Mack does that again, man, I'll do something wild. I'll jump off my balcony.
Yeah. Oh Jesus. Okay.
It's not. We're just second story. It's not that crazy.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, dude, there's just no way. No way. I mean, what people did last year, it's just insane.
Yeah.
All right, you want to get into the awards a little bit?
Yeah.
This dude,
a fun time.
Dude, I thought long and hard about this, and I could talk good about my picks. I think
Okay.
each of them have the same kind of aspect, I think, surrounding it, in my opinion. I want to save Defensive Rookie of the Year because I think it's going to shock a lot of people who I'm going to pick. So we'll start with MVP then.
Okay.
My MVP, I went between 3 people: C.J. Stroud, Joe Burrow, and then Josh Allen. And I came down to the very last minute of deciding who today, and I went with Josh Allen.
Oh,
I did, and I'll tell you why. If you look at what everyone says about Josh Allen, right? If you see what everyone kind of says, Stephon Diggs made him. Stephon Diggs this. Stephon Diggs that. Stephon Diggs over here. I think, truly, without Stephon Diggs this year, we're gonna see how good he is in a new offense. Remember, the offensive coordinator middle of last year, got fired, and they brought in Joe. I want to say Bradley, but I don't think that's right. Joe Brady.
Yeah.
And they're going to run the ball more, which is going to lead to play action. And obviously Josh Allen's running ability is already top notch. I think we're really going to see a full 100%. He's going to turn the ball over less this year. I got a very good feeling about that. And I just think we're going to be able to witness actually how good he is without a star wide receiver. We're going to see Tom Brady when he had all those skeletons as wide receivers. But still had like Rob Gronkowski like type good. Or Aaron Rodgers when he lost Devontae Adams. Like, we're gonna see truly just how good he is now without that true number one. And I think that's gonna be something that a lot of people are gonna open their eyes and go, okay, we knew Josh Allen was great, but now he's like spectacular. Like, he is, you can seriously argue him now as like the best quarterback in all of football, and actually I feel like have a very, very good chance of winning that argument. I think this is the year Josh Allen 100% fully breaks out into superstardom. Like, he's already like he's definitely a top 5 quarterback, right? But this is like superstar, like up there, and I think this is gonna be a good year for him, and I'm very excited to watch him.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking about Josh Allen for MVP, it kind of reminded me of when KD left Westbrook in Oklahoma City. Like, it was like the roster kind of just got stripped down. One year, like Harden left, and then KD left, and then it was Westbrook, and it was just like he was just like, you kind of could just see Westbrook's full potential.
Yeah.
That being said, it was kind of like a stat pad MVP. I mean, it's still an MVP and all, but I mean, I don't think they were a top 4 seed in the West.
Triple double though. Average a triple double.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. My one thing with Josh Allen, like, yeah, he's great, but I don't know why he's always like consensus top 2. Like, he hasn't won an MVP yet. He hasn't been to a Super Bowl. I mean, Lamar's won 2 MVPs. Joe Burrow has been to a Super Bowl, yet it's always Josh Allen above those two for some reason. So. I don't know. I'm not really. I mean, yeah, he could have a great year, put up a lot of numbers, but I guess ultimately I don't see his MVP translating to a further playoff run.
I just think he now finally has that weight lifted off his shoulders, like forcing the ball to make Stephon happy. I feel like now he can just play freely because he's got a bunch of guys that don't, necessarily going to be begging for the ball. So.
Okay, well, my MVP pick is CJ Stroud. I think he just had one of the best rookie seasons ever. I don't see him regressing. He just got Stephon Diggs, so that's usually a plus. He's in a really good fit and system and place, and we've seen some guys recently in that year 2 or 3 make that MVP level leap. So that's who I'm rolling for MVP.
Yeah, we've definitely seen a lot of players like that. That was like Carson Wentz should have won MVP if he didn't tear. Carson Wentz would have won MVP if he didn't tear his ACL.
Yeah.
Jalen.
Derek Carr if he didn't get injured.
Yep.
Lamar, his first MVP.
Jalen Hurts should have won MVP a couple years ago. His second year.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, there's definitely a lot of people that I think Patrick Mahomes, he won in his second year. He didn't.
Yeah, his first year as a starter.
Yeah, first year as a starter. I think it was his second year though.
Second year in the league.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, I don't know. So it's just crazy that second year. I mean, I feel like that second year it makes or breaks your whole career. It's got to. Like, you see quarterbacks do.
Quarterback.
Yeah. I feel like you see quarterbacks do really, really well for 1 year, and the second year they just. So. All right, offensive player of the year. It's crazy, because originally when I first made this list, I had Jalen Hurts at MVP, and then I deleted it, and I was like, because I didn't want to have Jalen Hurts as my MVP, and I didn't want to have my offensive player as Saquon Barkley. I didn't want to have 2 Eagles. I felt that was too.
You can't do that, dude.
Exactly, but offensive player of the year will be Saquon Barkley. There's not a doubt in my mind. Now, obviously Tyreek Hill's up there, Justin Jefferson's up there, blah, blah, blah. You have a top 5 running back in the league, okay? He's top 5. No questions about it. Fight your mom on that. Saquon Barkley is a top 5 running back, okay? The Giants have had the worst O-line these past couple of years that I have ever seen, which is why Saquon's getting hit more, or was getting hit more, which is why he was getting hurt. And if you've watched the New York Giants on Hard Knocks this year, you know that's the truth. Because even their GM was talking about, we need to protect Daniel Jones. He was hit like 146 times like the past 2 years. It was something crazy, he said. So now you're taking a top 5 running back who has never had a top 20 O-line. I'm going all the way down to 20. And now you're putting...
I don't know. They were pretty good a couple of years when Thomas was an all-pro and they made the playoffs. I thought they were pretty functional. No? Top 20 for sure.
Nah. Disagreeing with that.
Disagreeing with it. Okay.
But now you're taking Saquon Barkley and putting him against a top 5 O-line. Yes, we lost Jason Kelsey, okay, but we're moving Cam Jurgens in, and then whoever's starting at right guard, whether it's Becton, Keegan, or Steen, or if we go and trade for someone, it doesn't matter.
You guys got Mekhi Becton?
Yeah.
Really?
I think he's gonna be our starting right guard. It seems like he's beating out Tyler Steen right now for our right guard. Yeah.
Was that in the Reddick trade?
No, he was a free agent.
Wow.
I think his rookie year was up.
Damn.
Yeah.
Okay.
Speaking of Reddick, you see that he requested a trade?
Yeah.
Crazy.
So did you see? He's like, I'm not going to training camp unless I get a new deal.
But it was stupid to trade for him.
We're not giving you a new deal unless you come to training camp. So now they're just in this stupid Western shootout.
Dude, absolutely crazy. Why would you trade for someone and not give him a new deal when the reason he wants to be traded is because we're not giving him a new deal?
It's the Jets, man. They will find ways to lose.
It's like if Matt Judon, who just got traded today, we talked about that before we started. If the Falcons don't get him a new deal, it's the same thing.
I mean, they have to, dude.
They have to.
Will, but
and then that deal is going to affect Reddick's deal. So someone's got to get done first.
I know. Everyone's just standing around. So
yeah.
Get it done.
But yeah, so back to Saquon, right? You're putting him behind a top 5 O-line with all the other weapons around him. There's no way this guy doesn't win Offensive Player of the Year. There's no way this guy doesn't get close. Oh yeah, close to 2,000 yards rushing.
There's no way. I mean,
dude, you're nuts. Come on, bro. There's no way. This guy could, I'm saying 17, 50, 18. No doubt.
So how much would you bet that he stays fully healthy?
100%.
What?
But dude, imagine going from somewhere where you're getting hit the second you get the ball to somewhere where you're not getting touched within 5 yards. It makes such a difference on how you can move, how you can get out of bounds. There's more stuff that you can do. You can put more moves on, more spin moves.
Injury history is kind of injury history, man.
Pish posh this. Saquon Barkley is winning the Offensive Player of the Year award. I'm going to put money on it. He's getting to 17 to 1,800 yards rushing. Definitely, you probably won't get the, what's it called? Fuck, it's already been 40 minutes?
We got 10, 15
yeah.
minutes.
We got about 10 minutes, yeah. Yeah, he won't get the receiving yards because that's going to be Will Shipley's job. But Saquon Barkley, who's your Offensive Player of the Year?
My Offensive Player of the Year is, I'm probably going to go Christian McCaffrey.
Oh my God.
What?
I hate the 49ers.
Dude, he scored was it more than 20 games with a touchdown in a row? I mean,
it was something crazy.
He was automatic. He was just automatic scoring a touchdown and producing, and it was either him or Tyreek Hill all last year. I think that's pretty much the top 2 candidates this year, and I don't know. I just think he's gonna win. I mean, it's a pretty safe, secure bet.
Are you not nervous about the Madden curse?
Oh, is he on the cover of Madden?
Yeah.
No, I didn't know that.
Damn, bro, come on.
I don't know. That seems to be fading away, the man curse.
Yeah, it seems like these past couple of years it's kind of gone down. For a couple of years there, it was a real thing.
It was real. It's been real at times for sure.
Okay, so Defensive Player of the Year, it's going to be Micah Parsons. I feel like because of how much the Cowboys have lost, it's same thing as Josh Allen. That's what I say. All of my players have a kind of the same standpoint. When you lose so much, your superstar shows out more. Like TJ Watt with the Steelers. we think T.J. Watt is he is one of the best players in the league, but you take him off that team, right? Who else is there on the Steelers? Like, who else are you turning into to watch on Sunday Night Football if T.J. Watt's not playing on the Steelers?
Well, they might get Brandon Ayuk, but that's a different conversation.
Yeah.
I get Bart.
That's why T.J. Watt is so good. It's because he's the only one we're watching on the Steelers. Like, no offense to Steelers, but like that's it.
Minka.
Yeah, but like Minka, that's if they throw it his way, or you know what I'm saying. Like he's a safety. Like T.J. Watt, it makes a difference every play.
Yeah, you can feel his presence.
So Micah Parsons, the Cowboys lost a lot, and you can go in depth to it. So I feel like Micah Parsons is going to be shown more. Like he will be that team, and I feel like watching him more, he's going to get Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah, Micah Parsons was my pick as well. It's going to be interesting to see how the loss of Dan, well, he didn't die, but like they lost Dan Quinn to the Commanders' head coaching job, and he was phenomenal in the last couple years. So it'll be interesting who steps up in that DC role and utilizes Parsons. But yeah, I mean, lying against number 11 this year, I wouldn't wish that upon my worst enemy.
I think
he's due. He's definitely due for the award. I think he came in second his rookie year. Probably came in second last year too. Like he's just a beast. So yeah, I agree. It's his top.
Yeah, I agree. Like I said, they lost so much, and I just feel like it's fine. Like he will be, and especially if CeeDee Lamb doesn't play.
Yeah.
I think it's just he will be like the face of Sunday Night Football, and when they show the players and stuff, it's gonna be him.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah. My offensive rookie of the year. This is so the reason I'm going to go Caleb Williams. I feel like he is going to have a LeBron type year. So remember when LeBron and Carmelo Anthony were rookies?
Yeah.
Carmelo.
Not really. But...
Yeah. But anyways, if you look, Carmelo Anthony led all rookies in all the stats. But because of all the hype behind LeBron James, that led him to be Rookie of the Year.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be safely with Caleb Williams. I think there could be other offensive rookies that have better stats, but if Caleb Williams just does above average, doesn't have to be great, but just above average, I think he wins it. Just the hype over him. And if the Bears win 8-7 games, it's in the bag. I think you can write it in marker.
Yeah, Caleb was my pick as well. It's honestly going to be approaching disaster if he doesn't win this award, because obviously he wouldn't have a great year. But he's probably the most. I mean, I don't know if he's a better prospect than Trevor Lawrence, but he's definitely the most hyped prospect I can remember.
Since Trevor Lawrence, for sure.
But with the personality factor too, the LeBron effect.
But,
he's just all the pieces around him, the roster, the whole thing. He's really set up well, and I think he's also a really good player, and he's a very pro-ready player. So I think this is award. It's pretty much a lock.
Have to. It's written in Sharpie for this guy. All he has to do is perform, just well, and maybe above average, just like LeBron. You don't have to do the whole thing, but just do well enough, and it's yours.
Yeah.
All right, my defensive rookie of the year. You ready for this?
Yeah, I'm ready.
It's Chop Robinson. Out of Penn State for the Dolphins. I think the Dolphins have lost so much on their defensive line this past year. They lost Bradley Chubb to an ACL. I think they lost Jalen Phillips to an Achilles. They lost everyone that came through that D-line. So I know Chop Robinson had some health concerns going in. I definitely believe, though, if he stays healthy, he's going to lead that defense from the front and do really, really well. I thought about picking Jared Verse here. Truly, as a Florida State fan, I did. But I Chop Robinson, I feel like that defensive line is so deplete that it's just gonna show him. It's just gonna be, he's on every play he's there. Every play he's making moves or doing something, and I don't know, I haven't heard much of him from camp. To be honest, I haven't really looked into it. But I like Chop Robinson. I like the situation he's in with Miami. And I think he wins Defensive Rookie of the Year. And that's my shock pick of the night.
No, that's a good pick. He was the first round pick, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so, no, that's a good pick. There's a lot of of good players in this class, not a lot of great ones. This award, unlike offensive rookie, is wide open. Like, definitely would not be surprised if we see a third, fourth round player, someone completely come out of nowhere win this award. You mentioned Jared Verse, that's my pick. I was thinking him or Quignon, but it's hard to win the award as a cornerback. I know,
Yeah.
Like that pick.
I would have loved that pick.
But Jared Verse, he was like a top 5 projected pick, top 10 for a while, especially when he returned back. I don't know. I'm not really sure why his stock fell. I mean, he was on a loaded defense.
True.
With a lot of kind of mouths to feed, which is you don't see typically on a defense. So, but yeah, he's pro ready. He's aggressive. He's explosive. He's in a good system, a good organization. So I think that's my pick for the defensive rookie of the year.
Yeah, I know the Rams. It's going to be, I feel like, impossible replacing Aaron Donald, but replacing him with Kobe Turner, who they got last year, who ended up being a stud. Jared Verse, Brandon Fisk. I think they've done a very good job of getting people who can produce. So that's going to be interesting. It's crazy that we're talking about defensive rookie of the year. Obviously, watching the Eagles play. Cornerback I didn't want on my team no matter what. Bless you.
Thank you.
Was Nate Wiggins. I did not want him at all for the Eagles. I did not want him at all. And he actually...
Why?
Because I wanted Cooper, and I wanted Quinn, and I wanted Terry Arnold. Like, I had other cornerbacks just ahead of him.
Okay, that's fair.
So if those all 3 were gone, like, I just didn't want that option, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, we're stuck with this option. But he impressed me very well against the Eagles. And I was like, damn, like, that's not too shabby.
Yeah.
So, I know, defensive rookie of the year was definitely the hardest one to pick. Just because, like you said, there's a lot of good, but not great players.
Yeah.
So,
Well, we got like about a minute left, so we probably should wrap up here.
Yeah, I think so too. Matt Judon getting traded today to the Falcons for a 3rd round pick. That's kind of crazy. J.J. McCarthy out for the year with a torn meniscus. So Sam Darnold is going to be the QB1. And then Jordan Addison was apparently carted off. Again, sorry, Viking fans.
Dude, that guy's a walking problem.
Yeah. I mean, we're in that time now where every day there's NFL news, and I can't wait, man. We're literally so close. We're so excited.
So close.
New episode every Thursday at 12. We're so excited you guys are here with us. Thank you again, and we will see you guys.
I'm working on the Spotify. We'll get that up and running too. Both episodes, episode 1 and 2, will be on Spotify soon. So, drop if you want us to talk about anything, got any feedback, drop it in the comments. And we'll see you next week.
See you guys next week. Thanks again. Peace.